which comes down to really the central ethical question of this debate. And it's an interesting way of aligning perhaps ethics with self-interest. And it does very much go to this short-term versus long-term. If I slap on some trade sanctions on this country right now, I might be better off for the next couple years, but what happens down the road? We've got this real structural situation where the wealthy countries of the world for a very long time have certainly shaped the global trading system, the global financial system, have enjoyed a tremendous advantage from that. And the rest of the world is at a point where they're saying, hey, wait a minute, we're not going to take it anymore. That is contributing to the problems of coordinating globally. I started in the early 1990s writing about what then had just started to be called emerging markets. A friend of mine edited a newsletter that was called LDC Debt Report for less developed countries, and they actually had to go change the name of the newsletter. And we were talking at lunch over, okay, what do we call them now? So for lack of a better term, the countries formerly known as emerging markets have just spent a lot of the last couple of decades listening to the advice of the Washington Consensus. They privatized, they cleaned up their balance sheets, did all the stuff that they were supposed to. Whenever they had a crisis, the message was generally austerity, austerity, austerity. Well, now they're in a place where they did everything they were supposed to, most of them, not all of them. There are a couple of very clear exceptions, and they are suffering from the current crisis much more than even we are. So you look at the responses to the crisis in the developed country, and it's all about stimulus, stimulus, stimulus. So I think that we're going to start seeing a lot of resentment from the countries formerly known as emerging markets saying, hey, we're not going to cooperate in this. If the global trade talks are revived this year, I think there's going to be a lot more backlash from the countries of the global south who we need their buy-in to get anything to happen. They were the ones who killed it last year. And I think the situation is making it harder and harder. We also, because of the policy recommendations that were made over the last couple decades, are in a position where a lot of these countries are not necessarily going to listen to any advice from Washington. I think we're going to have to come up with a whole new way of trying to mitigate the effects of the crisis in those countries as well. And they've really almost dropped off the radar because we are so self-involved right now.